Welcome back to the Sunday Roast, round 21. Another great round of footy. Joining me, Darcy Ballard. Dobe, how are you, brother?
I'm very good. This is Sunday morning, Jev. We wanted to try and get a little bit in the can. You're a little bit busy tonight. I'm heading off to the footy. The Swans had a big win. I'm hoping that when you listen to this, that when we get back for the second half of the pod, that I'm back and the Blues have had a massive win over the Saints. Jev, the top 8 is unbelievable at the moment. You cannot predict who the fuck is going to be in this top 8 because I can't.
The ladder is...
I keep having to do those mock drafts and those mock predictions, and I change my mind every day. It's unbelievable.
It's good to see. So it's 9:40 right now. We're just getting this done before the Sunday footy show. You've already been to the gym. You've done your food shopping. You're up and about on a Sunday. I can't wait to see your mood if the Blues lose later and you've got to roast them and you've cracked the shit and they lose to the Saints all of a sudden at Marvel Stadium again when you hate going there against the Saints, don't you?
No one's gettable.
No.
No one is gettable at the moment. Like, we'll get into it, the Bombers game yesterday. Like, every team can compete and it's fucked. And you just don't know what you're going to bring on any certain day. Yeah. Oh, mate, it's good to watch.
It's absolutely fucked. All right, let's get into it then. Friday night, Western Bulldogs beat the Tigers by 55 points. Absolutely smashed them from minute one, Dust. I was out with my partner for her birthday, so I actually didn't see any of this game. I can't wait to ask you a couple of questions about it. So talk to me. Tell me about this game, Das.
All right, so the Bulldogs, from the bounce, obviously the word in the week was, Caleb Daniel kicked the first goal. I can't remember. For some reason, I forgot to screenshot this game, so I'm not sure exactly all the markets on this one. But he floated forward, kicked the first goal. It must have had on a whiteboard, Bevo must have said, let's put speed on the ball, because from the get-go, they came out and they were just running every single mark, had a handball attached to it. So they had all the people from the back line. So you had like Joe Anderson, you had Smith, Vandermeer, all those sorts of guys, Bailey Dale, every single mark, bang, quick handball and just go. They just fed it forward. I was saying to you, Jev, they even made Rory Lobb look good. The ball was coming in that quick. He was actually taking some marks. Ugelhagen over the back, kicked 4 goals in the first quarter and it was done. That was their best start to a game in, I think, 12 years, the Dogs. So they kicked 9 goals and it started at the source as well. Bontempelli and Libba absolutely beat them up. You want to know what the best bet in footy is, Jev? Fading the Tigers at Marvel. They can't play there. They got done last year when Zerha kicked about 7 goals against them. And every time they verse the Saints there, they get absolutely smashed. But it was so impressive by the Dogs to obviously bounce back. They're a bit of up and down team, Jev, but they needed this win. And Bontempelli is the best player in the AFL.
He is fucking unbelievable. So what did he have? 32 and 3.
Yeah, so he got it done. He had about 15 touches about a minute or two into the second quarter, and then they had the luxury of parking him up forward, got rid of Broad a couple times, took a couple of big marks, got absolutely tunneled on one, went back and finished it. He's I'm not sure if you can say a dual threat player, or he's a triple threat player. Yeah. You can put him down back, you put him in the midfield, and by God, can you put him up forward because he can take a contested mark, and he's just class. I
was thinking, I don't want to be some super take expert or anything, but so we say Charlie Curnow is built in a lab. If you could build a forward in a lab, you bring out Charlie Curnow. If you could build a midfielder in a lab, you build Bontempelli, but do you reckon in the right side he could nearly win a Coleman medal if he played a season at full forward? He just 6'4", beautiful mark, clean footballer, breaks tackles, great finisher at goal. If he played a full season at full forward, he could kick 50 to 60 goals, I reckon.
Yeah, it just makes you think it's are you wasting him? That's can you imagine if Toby Green played a full year on ball?
Exactly.
Is he winning a Brownlow? Probably.
We were saying it last night, every time he goes into a centre bounce, he gets the clearance, but they need him forward to kick goals. But he's the best clearance player in the Giants. It's absolutely fucked.
Imagine having an all-star team and you just put Bont on the half back line, play him a loose half back, an intercept play, a sit. He can do everything, Jev, and I think he's the most. Yeah, he's the best player in the comp this year. Probably has been top 3 the last 3 years.
100%.
He had the Norm Smith sewn up until Petrarca and the Dogs, and the D's went late on him, but he was incredible. And a few others went with him, so it was good to see.
Probably since 2016, like he probably won that flag a bit early, but he was like favourite for the Norm Smith that day. He's probably been a top 3 player in the comp for 8 years in a row. Like every year he trots out, he's one of the best players in the comp. And then last year, came off that should have been Norm Smith, did his ankle round 1 against the D's, remember it? And then he was limping all year, finished the year strong. But now that he's fit and healthy, he's good inside, contested ball, big body, doesn't shirk it. He's clean and classy on the outside. If you give him space, he's clean and he kicks goals. He is a gun. I'm doing a new pyramid this week, Das, and I have a feeling he's going to be right at the top, especially after a certain player's performance yesterday. So,
and can we give? So Bonts, obviously, he's the top of the pyramid, but Libba has to be a lock for all Australian.
Yeah, has to be.
I think whether you put him on the bench because the other midfielders are really stacked, because Tim English was probably going to be the ruckman. I don't think you can go Tim English, Bont, then Libba. Maybe you do. I don't know. But I think Libba starts on the bench. His contested work from the opening bounce to the end, he's a fucking animal. And you watch Bont as well. For those people that haven't watched that game, he's crashing packs the entire game. Both of them were incredible. Unbelievable performance. And fuck Trelaw just runs.
So Libba's had his last 4 weeks, 31 touches, 12 tackles, 35 touches, 36 touches, 31 touches. He's just in some serious form, and he earns every touch he gets. Like, he puts his head over the pill.
I love it.
As tough as they come.
Tigers season's done. The Dogs are sitting 5th as it stands. If the Blues can win today, we sit above them and everyone squashes down 1.
Wow. So exciting. Hey, more people are going to start getting on my take that West Coast will win a final before Richmond. They do not have one good 21 and under player that you'd build a team around. They've traded their draft picks for Torino and Hopper, who are good players, but as soon as Dusty, Koch and Rewalt leave and the team's built around Shy, Taranto,
Lynch will still be there.
Lynch will be back. I can't see them being any better than they are this year. I see them finishing 9th, 10th and 11th for the next 10 years.
No, probably won't be there for too much longer.
I'm really not high on them at all. They haven't got one Will Ashcroft coming through or a Harry Sheasel or an 18-year-old kid they play every week and he's going to get better and better. And I'm telling you, I've already seen more of West Coast these last 2 weeks to tell me they're going to be good again in 3 to 4 years, and I don't reckon Richmond will win a final in 3 to 4 years. And come 2027, West Coast will win a final and Richmond wouldn't have. So
yeah, it's going to be fucking interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. Their season's done. It's good. Fuck them. Next game, we both watched this game of basketball, 73-72. Essendon win by 1 point over the Eagles in the warehouse. Oh, Dobe, what a shocker this was. Well, it was okay, but talk to me.
Oscar Allen Jev kicked the first goal at $10. He's a fucking superstar, Jev. He's had an unbelievable season for them. And we went hard. The first leg of the 100K, Jev, we said Peter Wright, you thought he was kicking 8. We said what main forwards do to West Coast away from home. We had all the stats. I should have laid that on Langford instead. I didn't know 2 metre. 2 metre missed one from 15 metres out directly in front, halfway through the first quarter, and then he started ducking his head. He dropped marks. Mind you, the balls weren't coming in well. Langford kicks 4 in the second, and you think that it is game over. They did the pressure gauge. Essendon was up around 230, and West Coast were all the way down the bottom, like 140. Essendon were just walking it out of stoppages, and you just think they're going to run all over them here. They're about 35 points up at that time. I thought our line prediction was perfect. We said they're going to hammer that minus 50.5. And then Essendon got really cute, kept trying to do things in the middle of the ground, turnover after turnover after turnover, and they just clawed it back. West Coast kicked 7 of the last 9 goals, hit the front, and then Langford obviously got a Joe Lagoose out the back and they finished it. But it was a disgusting game. Merritt was terrible by foot. Parrish was just pushing blokes around and was getting some nice clearances, but it wasn't impressive. Elijah Hewitt, though, Jev, he was fucking impressive. Yeah, he has a crack.
Tim Kelly was good.
He was amazing.
Geez. I just don't know how would you feel as a Bomber supporter? So you get the 4 points. That's all that matters. Peter Wright looked scared. He looked horrible. He just is such a skirt sometimes. Langford is a hell of a footballer. I absolutely love watching him. But, like,
Yeah,
if...
he's got 45 goals this year. He has to be. You have to almost start talking. I know this sounds funny, but as an All-Australian spare, he's kicked
Yeah.
45 goals.
He's kicked 5 3 times. He's been so good. If before the game I said Langford's going to kick 5 goals 3, Parrish is going to have 33 and 1, Merritt's going to have 29, you'd be Bombers by 80, wouldn't you? You'd be like, yeah, the Bombers have won by 80 there. How many did Peter Wright kick? But West Coast, credit to him. They hung around. Finally, Gaff's starting to play better. I thought he was the worst player in the AFL. He had 6 possessions, played 90% against the Lions like 6 weeks ago. Fully fit. He had 6. I'm like, this bloke is like cooked. He's had 23. Jaden Hunt's looking better, 24. Duggan, 29. Kelly, 30. Witherden, Cole, Edwards, they all played well. They've started to show something. Their pressure was up. They actually had a bit of a game plan. When McGovern's back in, they're such a better side. So
With him and Rotham back in the side, just having like 2 a little bit more senior players,
yeah,
they were much better. But fuck, Essendon looked. I would hate to be one of their supporters. I would hate to go for them.
are they
Sorry.
in the finals? I think they have North next week.
Yeah, they do, which is disgusting.
It's like,
If them and St Kilda make it, I'll throw up.
so they're on 40 points, where Dogs, St Kilda, Giants are all on 44, and you're on 42. So you win today, you go up to 46. So they're going to be a game out of the 8. They have North, then the Giants, and then I don't know who they've got round 24. Giants at Giants. I hope they don't make it.
Yeah, me too.
I don't want to be mean. I don't want to be a dog.
That we want to touch on Langford Jev, 5 goals, $4.80. Most of the other touches weren't that much. Actually, Nick Hind had 30. What did he pay? Nick Hind was $10.50, Jev, for 31.
I can't believe Langford was only $4 for 5.
Oh, they know. It's one of the forwards who's going to fill their boots. But those are the only really good markets. A lot of the 20 touches disposals weren't that much. Also, shout out in the Discord, a couple of people really love Redmond for a goal. Said it was his 100th game. He might try and push forward. That was at 310. That was in our multi. He hit. The Discord went absolutely nuts, but 2 meter absolutely fucked us in the arse. So
yes, we
were no good on that one. But, Jev, this was a disgusting game. I want to move on.
Adelaide Suns. Crows get it done by 28 points at home. They just continue to be dogs at Adelaide Oval. Who kicked the first? Us? Tex.
Lockie Murphy at
That's
$21.
Right. That's right. It's a nice hit. And then Tex kicked the second. Thought he was in for a big bag. This was just business by the Crows, wasn't it? It was 5 goals to 0 at 3/4 time, and it ended 13 goals to 9. They just basically kept that 8 goals to 3 at halftime. 8 goals to 6 at 3/4 time, then 13 to 9. They just kept that 5-goal lead, that buffer the whole game. I think at one stage, the Suns got it to within about 11 points, 10 points, 11 points, but at home they were just too good, the Crows.
Yeah, they don't travel that well, do they, the Suns at times? But one of the unfortunate things on the game is Will Powell. Did you hear? Because I had the other commentary on. He went the green whistle. It looks like a lower leg injury because he's a fucking gun. So he's been a bit
holding his leg up and straight in the green whistle.
Oh.
Maybe he snapped his ankle or something. I did see it, but then they didn't want to show the replay. Howie on the commentary was like, nah, we're not showing that replay. So poor bloke.
He's had a bit of a stiff run, but Taylor Walker, Jev, we thought he might get a hold of a couple. He only kicked the 2, kicked an unbelievable goal out from the ruck, about 50 metres out, just pushed wits, took the ball, balked about 2 blokes and just dribbled it through from about 35. He's in some unbelievable form.
Good to watch.
We're talking about last night. What players would dominate local footy? Tex is one of those. Tex and Hawkins. Imagine having to line up on one of those 2 in local footy.
And some of those small local footy grounds, Tex would kick goals from everywhere.
He would be one of the best to go watch. He'd just be putting on a show, trying to kick him from 50.
Yeah, there's something beautiful about watching someone take a mark 50 metres out, go back and slot the set shot. And he'd do it at local footy all day.
You'd just call him Mr. Unlimited. Like he'd be like the Russell Wilson. Like, where do you want him to kick one from? Because he's going to absolutely get after it. Any of the markets in this one, Jev? So Darcy Fogarty, 3 goals was $2.75. If we look at some of the disposals,
McAdam for 3. What did McAdam pay for 3?
McAdam, Ned Mick or Adam? Shane McAdam, 550 Jev for 3.
Yeah,
But can we please, I know everyone else is talking about it, but Matt Crouch, how the fuck? Remember he couldn't get a game like the last 2 years.
wild.
He's really come out. So his last 5 games, he's had 31, 28, 12, 27, 32, and 31, and a goal yesterday. So for 30, Jev, he was paying 240. Just a really good game inside.
Yeah, they were saying he needs to start getting more like value for his buck on his touches, and I was watching him like he actually leaves the stoppages with the ball in his hands now. He's kicking inside 50, he's kicking a goal, like
He's giving
not
him
all just little 40 hands and stuff. Like got to start breaking a line or two when you get the ball. So he looks like he's improved out of sight. I wonder if he's bitter against the Crows and he wants to move on because there's going to be some teams that would love to have him. If I was West Coast, I would love to have Matt Crouch at my side. Or if he loves Adelaide, he loves being a Crow, and he's going to hang around and get more senior footy.
West Coast is good. It's like you're playing in midfield every week. Shuey's done. You got a lot of those other guys. You know, someone actually floated the other day. Geelong needs another midfielder.
Yeah, do they what? Do they what?
Just another one.
That is the exact player they would go after. That was the lifestyle.
Isn't it?
It is just them to a T. Get Max Holmes more outside again because he's a bit of a he can't be an inside-outside player at this stage of his career.
Could you give everyone an assessment? Because we will go – oh, no, we've got the Hawthorn game. But I'd love to hear your assessment on Max Holmes.
Yeah, I'll get to it later. And then Mitch Hinge, 30. What did he pay for 30? He's a hell of a footballer. He's a hell of a footballer to watch.
Yeah, Bryce introduced us to him earlier in the year. 8.75, Jev, for 30.
That is so nice. And then Noah Anderson had 22. He's gone for 10 weeks in a row at 25 touches. He only had 22. Killed us in the 100K, but it wasn't the only leg. We're actually having a stinker on the 100K. We'll get to that at the end of the show. But, yeah, after it always happens. We have a good week where we're like this close to winning, and then we come back and no good. So back to our roots next week. Crows, season's still alive. So they're on 40 points as well, same as Eston. So basically a game out. St Kilda play today, Carlton. So if St Kilda win, they go to 48 points. If Carlton win, they go to 46. Wow, so there's still a spot for the Crows, for the Swans, but you got to keep winning and you got to hope some teams lose.
Yeah.
Really, you just need to play the teams around you and beat them. It's the best way to get in.
It sort of is. Like we've got St Kilda today, we've got Melbourne, then we've got Gold Coast and GWS. So.
Yeah. Like St Kilda, Essendon playing North, they get the 4 points, but all the other teams around them could win and they stay where they are. Like you need to beat the teams around you, the big 8-point game. So, God, we love the Crows. I actually don't know what's going on with Isaac Rankin. I know like how bad he did hammy, but if they do slip into the 8, is he back or is he season over?
Oh yeah, because I think they said it was 2 to 3. Plus they get the week off, so he'd definitely be back.
Let's go. It'll be a good day back. Next game, I loved every damn second of this. Hawthorn Collingwood, the Hawks smashed the Pies by 32 points. They beat them up all fucking day, Dars. 4 goals, 2-0 at quarter time. They set the tone. They smashed him in every statistic all over the ground. Talk to me.
It was Dylan Moore, Jev, that kicked the first goal, and
he kicks it every week.
Unbelievable in the first quarter. But we said last week, what was the only blueprint that we've seen? Melbourne beat them up with big body midfielders.
Yep.
The Blues beat them up with big body midfielders. And you know what? The Hawks, Jev, because they are a brutal side within the contest. We said all year they love to handle the football. You go through every Hawthorn game, they're always getting a lot of disposals. Will Day, Warple, Newcomb, all these sorts of guys running through, and they were as tough as guts yesterday. Connor Nash, like big bodies, and they were cracking in, and they must be fucking fit, Jev. Because they did not take speed off the football. Because there's different ways you can play. Collingwood likes to set the zone and then sort of push through. They were going the Hawks the entire time. They were running with them when the Pies would try and go in transition, hoping for a turnover, and they would not stop. All the way end to end. Started with the captain, James Sicily. If you guys didn't watch the game, it got to the start of the second quarter. He had 16 disposals, 3 or 4 score involvements, went 100% by foot. So that was 10 kicks. And he just plays the marksman. So sometimes, yes, he gets marked on because he's in a bit of a in-between spot. So like he's in between 2 players. And then all the camera sees is like Sicily 2 or 3 meters off. But that's the gamble that they play. So sometimes it looks bad, but other times you're like, how the fuck is he always marking this ball? Because he just runs through. To have Weddle there at the back line as well, Jev, helped them heaps. But they just fucking outplayed them, and it was one of the best things I've seen this year. It's probably the most I've cheered for a team, not Carlton. And boy, how good was our man Finn McGuinness?
Oh, we got to talk about this. So I said on Hook, Line and Sinker, if Finn McGuinness keeps Dacos to a Josh Kelly game, I think I said 10 and under, I'll buy a Finn McGuinness jersey. He held Dacos to 5 touches.
Let's say 2.
Let's say 2 touches. He took 1 kick out. He got a free kick in front of goal that was soft that he should get in trouble first.
Another one on the boundary for us.
And another one on the boundary. He earned 2 possessions. People think I was one of them, the best player in the league. The best player in the league does not get 2 possessions on the MCG on a Saturday. Saturday 4:40 MCG, that's nearly grand final time, Dars. You have to get more. And you can't say, it's hard to say like this, but he doesn't like the tough stuff that much right now, does he? He doesn't like physical. He's only 19, 20. I don't blame him, but when you're super physical on him and you're tough and you're hitting him constantly, he does not like it at all.
We've been saying this for ages, though.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like when I play footy, I just have to tag every now and then.
Yeah.
So I actually didn't mind it. Like it gives you a job, and I just go stand with him all day. And if you don't mind putting an arm on someone, like it's like I didn't mind it, but I understand like someone if you do a really good job, and sometimes they just don't want to go anymore.
Yeah.
Like if you do it as a team, like sometimes if I had to tag someone and then everyone else in your team buys in, I'm not just bumping him the whole time. Your whole team is getting into it. And I'll tell you what, it does fucking wear you down eventually.
Oh.
Like some days, and the good players just run through it. Like that, they'll go through and then they'll find their impact at some stage. So Collingwood obviously try to put him forward to impact in another way. But it does wear you down eventually. And when no one else is coming to fly the flag, it took for the third quarter for Josh Dacos to actually come through and actually finally have an impact and like try and fly the flag for his brother. Very smart. They end up getting the free kick. But apart from that, no one gave him a chop out.
Yeah.
Why didn't they put him back to half back maybe? And just that's where he gets his cheap ball.
I tweeted that yesterday, Das. I don't think the Pies can win the flag with Nick Dacos as a midfielder. I reckon he has to go back to the half back line. They need to get tougher on the inside. I reckon when they've got Dacos and Dobe in there, yeah, they're the most talented players on the team. But I reckon when it comes down to like you play Clayton Oliver, Petrarca and Viney on grand final day and you got those 2 in there, and when it comes to putting your head over the ball, I don't reckon they're tough enough. And I only say this because I was there on grand final day when Errol, Papley, Chad Warner were all on ball against Duncan, Guthrie, Selwood, Dangerfield, and they were just too big, strong and tough for us. And when it came down to it and you had to go 2 people that could get the same ball and you had to go as hard as you can, as physical as you can, they were too big and strong for us and they just beat us up on grand final day. And I can 100% see that happening to the Pies where it's Dacos, it's Viney, it's Oliver, and the grand final's won on who goes harder in the middle, and they're just not tough enough right now. Yeah, I reckon he has to go back to halfback. He has to.
I just don't know why they didn't put him there because he's obviously fit at the start of the game. Like, just make Finn be get him to keep taking kick outs.
Yeah,
get him to get little ones out the back and just start to get himself in the game. Like,
and also if Dacos is half back, Finn's a forward that's playing on Dacos. So there's just a forward that's not going to kick a goal, basically. So you're really just playing 5-on-5, and Dacos can really run around as an extra midfielder, a sweeper. Like, he doesn't need to be wasting an on-ball spot. That could have gone to Taylor Adams, Jack Chris, Scott Pendlebury, and he can just be half-back, basically running where he wants because he knows Finn McGuinness isn't going to kill him the other way. So,
I almost thought watching it, I was like, this will either be like, it'll come across as like, why didn't you put him to half-back? Or it'll come across as a masterstroke. Like, Dacos ends up kicking 3 goals, smartest thing of all time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he took a lick. Took a lick, Dacos. He just, he sat in the hole, got the knee to knee, and, he wasn't the same after that.
I reckon he might miss next week. I reckon he's got to, start. He's got to start. They got to sit him for a week and start forgetting about the Brownlow medal. He's either got it sewed up or he doesn't, but don't think about the Brownlow medal. Worry about the premiership. Give him a week off. Get his knee right. It's about finals. It's not about him winning the Brownlow.
This has gone up again.
He's going to go.
Everyone at home. So I put a futures bet on. So I got $20. I had Charlie Curnow for the Coleman and Christian Petrarca for the Brownlow. So $20 on that gets me back 3,300. The cash out yesterday, Jev, was at 200.
Yeah.
So 200, bit over 200. After Dacos's game, the cash out's at $420.
Let's go. So you doubled your money yesterday with him having a shocker. And so 2 weeks ago when the Sharks was on the Brownlow, he had Dacos on 30 votes and Bont on 25. So Dacos hasn't got polled against Carlton or Hawthorn, so he's still on 30. Bont 100% got 3 on Fridays. That's 28. And then against, I don't think you'll get one against the Giants in Ballarat, will he? Maybe one cheeky one, but he probably wouldn't that. So he'll be on 28, Dacos 30. What about, where was Petrarca?
One below, I think, and I think he'd be lucky to get one last week. You're gone, Viney and Petty.
Yeah. So you need him to get 3 today. It's
going to be interesting in the earlier games if Petrarca polls early, because we're not really expecting him to that much.
Yeah.
But, if he pops up with a couple of 3s early, like, fuck, he's on.
Yeah.
It's going to be really interesting. So I'm not going to cash out. I'm going to keep it.
Yeah, the Shark didn't have Pat Cripps winning last year, and then he got a 3 he shouldn't have got. The Shark had him for 0, and then he goes, it was about round 18, he goes,
he's won.
Cripps about to win the Brownlow, boys, because he just got votes he wasn't supposed to. So I'm just looking now at our Instagram of the Shark giving his votes. Taranto 23, Petrarca 23, Bont 25, Dacos 30. So Bont's now on 28. You reckon Petrarca might be on 23, 24. So we need him to get to 3 today, get to 27, be within a game of Dacos, and you can ride that bet. And could be a 3-way tie on Brownlow night, though. That'd be nice.
It'd be fucking nice. So I got Petrarca early. I just thought, big on TikTok. He's looking fit as a fiddle. He was $17. So I thought, why not sprinkle on that? But that was a great game, Jev. Absolutely loved how the Hawks went about it. It was good to watch.
Oh, they beat Collingwood up. And, yeah, as I know we've been saying this, but all of a sudden, sometimes Pendlebury looks old and slow when Collingwood aren't flying around the field. I reckon DeGoey can look soft at times. Like, what do you have? He only had 18 touches, got pinned holding the ball about 4 times. Yeah, he's still the most talented player where he kicks goals, beautiful goals. But, yeah, I'm so off the pies right now. They'll probably win grand final day and make us look stupid, but I don't know. There's a few cracks showing. So now Nathan Murphy gets injured. Darcy Moore's role goes up even more. Yeah.
Interesting.
The premiership window becomes even more open. Next game, Dobe. Geelong, Port Adelaide. The Cats get it done at home by 12 points. They were always going to win this game. As soon as who went out right before the game? Bloody Jeremy Finlayson got pulled out right before the game, and one other. Alira Lear injured. Lockie Jones injured. They had just too many injuries, Port Adelaide, but they played fucking well. What we were watching, Rosie and Butters were having an absolute crack, but Geelong at home were just too good. Ollie Henry set the tone, kicking 4 snags.
Kicked the first, Jev, at 11.50.
Kicked the first 11.50. I had Jeremy Cameron for 3, 4, 5, 6. Kicked 2 goals too. He's so frustrating at the moment.
Yeah.
Like, he had a set shot. He went round the corner and just left it short. Yeah, danger. What danger have? 1 goal, 1 and 20. He was always going to play well. Yeah, what else?
So pretty much, some of the markets, Jev, yeah, not too much to touch on. It was a bit of an arm wrestle. Both the Saturday night games are good to watch, but they got it done at home. Port have a lot of injuries, apparently a lot of sickness going through the club. Like, they just ran out. Like, Dan Houston, only had 6 or 7 disposals. Ollie Henry, though, Jev, for 4 goals, he paid $9. Willie Rioli for 4 goals paid $21. Sam Powell Pepper for 3 goals was $11.50. And for disposals, Zach Butters, 30.
1 goal and 30.
What does he pay for 30? Zach Butters, $2.80.
Yep.
If you like midfielders, $30 still gets you about just a bit over 2-1 for most of you guys.
Yeah.
25 disposals. Rosie was $1.81, which is nice. And his form's unreal. 28, 28, 28, 26, and then 27 again last night. So
we were watching, we had the both screens going. This game on the laptop, Swans on the main TV. every time we look up, it's Rosie breaking a line with the ball, like at full pace, running shoulders out towards goal. He's having a hell of a season. He's such a good player. Like Butters and Rosie, I'm so down on Geelong's midfield. I reckon they're so average without Guthrie, but it's just danger. And then Atkins is having half the season he had last year. Max Holmes having half the season he had last year. Just shows how good Joel Selwood was, basically, and it's how hard it is to back after a grand final. But Butters and Rosie kept Port Adelaide in this game when they probably had no right to be close. Yeah. Butters, Rosie, and Willie Rioli, they had an absolute crack. Just couldn't get it done at the end. Like home crowd just got the win, and so now Geelong are in the 8 right now, on 42, like the Swans and Carlton. They just have better percentage. It's just unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
You just think Carlton and Swans are playing better footy right now than the Cats, but they're just the Cats. They just know when to win and keep it close. If they fucking break both our hearts and take our spot in the 8, oh, it'll be tears.
Well, let's get into the next game because I think you guys will actually scrape in now.
So, Swans, Giants. The Swans win by 11 points. It was a fucking good game. It was 5 goals to 4 goals at quarter time. They were just banging.
Daniel Lloyd, Jev kicked the first at 34 crackers.
That would have been nice to have. Yeah, this was just a hell, like two teams playing their game plans. GWS were owning the territory, pressure inside 50's own territory. But the Swans' ball movement, we were taking it end to end. We were exposed, I was calling it, Amadi and McLean were exposing Sam Taylor a little bit. We were sort of tagging him. Will Hayward was running everywhere he went, and then Amadi and McLean looked a bit big for him. We were exposing them end to end. And the GOAT, the young king, Errol Goulden, probably kicked one of the goals of the year.
By far.
It started mid-wing. He got a couple of 1-2s.
You sure he started on the half-back line?
Yeah, then just some left foot laid-back check side. Absolutely side. He won the Brett Kirk medal. 32 touches, 2 goals, 2. I'm doing a pyramid dance. I said it last week to you. He hasn't played a bad game in about 6 weeks. His ceiling on the pyramid is starting to get high.
I think the most consistent players this year, you put Bont, and I think you put Goulden in there.
Yeah, Jordan Dawson as well. He hasn't played a bad game.
Goulden, we said it weeks ago, I'm like, he's your best player.
He's absolutely
but not only that, Jev, he ran the most, 16.5 Ks.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised why he's getting the ball because he fucking works harder than everyone.
Yeah.
He's got his lungs must be the size of a refrigerator.
You always see him getting possessions in the last line of defense. Like when they do that long kick, all the defenders go up and spoil. Goulden's always first back to clean it up. He must be so fit. He's such an impressive player. All Swans pages I follow go, if he was in Melbourne, we'd be talking about him like his day cost. The season he's having, the possessions he gets, everything. You could suck, and the goals he kicks, just everything about him.
Collingwood are the biggest, you can say, they're, if not the biggest club in Australia.
Yeah.
Massive supporter base. Nick, obviously, is son of a fucking gun. So he's already got the name. So he's already had that. Goulden. His dad's from Turkey.
Yes. No, he's playing fucking good footy. I was so confident in the Swans going into this game. I think footy right now, we're playing as good a footy as
mine, you, Jev.
And all of a sudden, when your good players are playing well, how much better do your side look, sort of thing. So our last couple of weeks, we beat West Coast by 170 points. Then we drew with Geelong, lost to Richmond, beat the Dogs, beat the Dockers, beat the Bombers. Now we've beaten the Giants. So as you say, you've got to beat the teams around you. We beat the Dogs, beat the Bombers, beat the Giants. We're at 4 on the trot, and we have – who do we have next week? Gold Coast at the SCG next week. Should probably win that as well. 5 on the trot. We're getting our game right at the right time of year. Good play. Papley's finally playing well again. Heaney's playing well again. Goulden's playing like one of the best players in the comp. Chad Warner's having an underrated season. He's still playing well. Parker's playing well. Mills is playing well. So, yeah.
Well, you know what your biggest thing was last night? What was one thing you were so critical over the Swans the start of the year?
Soft. Not hard enough.
And against Collingwood, against a few other sides.
Shots, yes.
when you go 11 and zip
Yeah, we've
at
kicked
half
11
time,
goals
Jev,
straight.
I was looking at GWS. I'm like, they're still getting so much of it. Jev, they beat you in disposals, beat you in inside 50s, hit-outs, clearances, centre clearances, contested possessions, uncontested possessions. They had less turnovers. But when you're going inside and you're converting, you
Yeah.
put scoreboard pressure on, yet they came home like a wet sail. They did. Like, they put in a good fight there at the end, which you always know you're going to get from the Giants. Like Toby Green, he's a gun. He kicked 3 goals. He just injects himself when he has to.
He's so fucking good.
How scary is he? Like, you're just like, we love him, but
Yeah.
when you play against him, you're like, can you fuck off?
Like, he hadn't had a touch, and then he kicked that soccer goal out of nothing. Then he kicked that set shot in the last quarter where he marked it, pointed straight at the goals, went back, slotted it, got him up and about. Like, he's so intimidating. It's like you know, you hear stories about Wayne Carey as when he was captain. He's like, nah, give it to me. I'm going to win the game for us. I'll kick the goals. Like, that's what he's like. He's just so confident in his ability and stuff. He's unbelievable. The Swans have known it for years. Like, we tag him. We usually use Harry Cunningham on him and, like, tag him like he's a midfielder. Do not give him an inch of space. And I think you have to. And he still kicks 3. And how many touches did he have?
14.
3 and 14. Yeah, do you have any odds there, Dust? I'm quite
Yeah, so the big one, our man, the local boy, he's a good man. He hasn't kicked a goal in 5 weeks, Jev. Probably more than that. Dosso kicked 4.
Yes.
Hayden clean at 31-1.
Yes.
He was
good.
playing so well up the ground, wasn't he?
Yeah, fucking love him. I just love his effort. You just know you're going to get max effort from him every single week. Him and Amadi, I just love them both. I like the size of Amadi. Like, he's not afraid to crunch a pack and be physical. I fucking love Amadi. He kicked 2 goals on Sam Taylor, who they say he's like a wall. He's unable to kick a goal, and he kicked 2 on him in the first quarter. They set the tone on him. Like, they didn't let him run around and do what he wants, and he was still bloody good. Like, he's a bloody good player. Can't keep a good player down forever, but
You know what's funny? I don't think a lot of people know. So when I coached my little brother's side in juniors, so Hayden McLean and Amadi were on the same team.
yes, it's unbelievable.
They're both local where we are, and they both played in the same forward line. And I didn't actually think that any of those, like, they were good players, but I'm like never thought on the radar they'd be AFL players.
Yeah.
And then obviously I remember Dos, they both got drafted, and Dos came in the side, in and out. Obviously played in the grand final last year. I thought this year, Jev, with all your tools, obviously you got McDonald, Amadi, you still had Buddy there. I'm like, and he was struggling a little bit to get in and out. He has to be a starter every week now.
Yeah, 100%.
Nah, his last month has been so competitive.
Yeah,
and he's a good target, and he's going back. If you're going back and kicking 4 snags, Jev, you're going to be in the side.
As I was saying to you, I actually like the forward line of McLean and Amadi more than no-name forward line, but the competitors. But then your A-grade forwards are Papley and Heaney, but you're not necessarily kicking to them. They make their own, goals, but you kick to it's not kicking to Buddy every time we go forward. It's McLean and Amadi, like, not that much respect on their name, but they compete. They bring it to ground. It's like watching Melbourne's forward line. It's like watching Melksham and Petty and stuff. Like, goals off effort and intensity and just players that want to compete and be out there. So, yeah, it's exciting. The Swan, like, if we slip into the 8, we do. If we don't, we might have not done enough in the middle of the season. So it is what it is. But we're playing good footy at the right time of year. Got heaps of confidence going into pre-season. So let's go. We're looking at Tom Barrass. There's rumours we're going to go hard after Brodie Grundy. Like, could all change. Could be back into it next year.
100%. Well, enjoy the rest of the Sunday.
Yeah.
We'll be back on a little bit later tonight, but I'm excited, Jev.
Are you going to go nuts on the Insta at the Carlton Saints game today? You're not having any beers though, are you?
Oh, nah, I won't be drinking too much. I'll get too excited. Sunday, cracking back into work on Monday. So, I'm going with a few Saints snuffies, so I'll be fucking...
You'll crack the shits and get the train home if they're pissing you off. All right, good work, Dave. Let's get the Sunday footy show on, and I'll see you later tonight. And we are back. Sunday roast. I know we're mid-episode, Das, but it's about 10 hours later since we did it this morning. It's good to be back. You're a happy man. The Baggers have got it done. We'll get into that game a bit later, but let's go through Melbourne and North Melbourne first. So the D's get it done by 32 points down in Tassie, Das. It's a lot to this game as you are financially invested in Christian Petrarca. So we'll talk about him in a minute. But Cozzy Pickett kicked the first at 10-1 he was. And then North Melbourne kicked the next 5 goals, and we're up 5-1 at quarter time. Then Melbourne evened it up, 8-8 at halftime, and then they just took over and only kept them to 2 goals in the second half and, won by 5 goals or whatever. But it was good to see Clarko's North Melbourne playing against us. Did you see much of this game?
I only saw the first quarter and a bit. We're at a pub before the Blues game. I was watching. I was like, "What the hell is going on? Is this going to be another upset?" And then I thought, because we couldn't hear the commentary, I'm like, "Is there like a 10-goal breeze or something?"
Yeah.
And then I was watching, and then they were just outplaying him, weren't they? They just looked like they were absolutely smashing him. Eddie Ford looked like prime Carey.
So
He kicked
in the quarter time breaks. I didn't know how Eddie Ford was popping up, but so he was playing on Jake Lever, right? So, and he was tagging Jake Lever, so it was quite weird. So then Jake Lever would run to where he wanted to go, say double team Larky, and Eddie Ford would duck off and just be the most dangerous forward. All of a sudden, leading straight up the guts like this, and they couldn't miss him because no one was on him.
Wow.
So he actually played a really good role. And kick 3. I'm just looking now. He paid 31-1 to kick 3. Geez, that would have been nice to have a slice of. Just seeing Clarko's back, their pressure for the first half was through the roof. They ran out of gas a little bit. I reckon, a prediction right now, they're going to come back next season fit as fiddles, North Melbourne. They're going to train really hard in the off season, and the best way to if you don't have the talent, even though they've got a lot of talent on the list, is be fit and have the effort. And because anyone can put on pressure, anyone can, exert effort. It's the best way to lift everyone to the same level, and then talent wins games and stuff and wins finals. So I can tell Clarko's going to make them fit. You're going to make them, a pressure team first. So, it was good to watch him. Petrarca, he was unbelievable. He was just centre forward. 2 goals, 27 touches. He probably left a few out there.
He always does. He always does. That's his only knock.
Yeah.
He leaves so, in front of goals, he just leaves a few out there. That's why I was messaging you, because I obviously wasn't watching it. And I was like, is he a chance for the vote? So at the start of the year, I put $100 on Petrarca at 15-1 for the Brownlow. Yeah. And I also put $20 on a multi for Charlie to win the Coleman and Petrarca to win the Brownlow. So after Dacos went down yesterday, both of them skyrocketed. And obviously after the Melbourne game, I cashed out one of them. I cashed out Petrarca for the Brownlow. So they gave me $482 cash out. So I put 100 on it. That's a win. He was paying $1,500, but I thought, win's a win. In my mind, after watching almost every game, I think Bont does win.
Yeah.
And I think over the next few games, he probably will. But I've left the other one to ride, but I still might take this one out, Jev, because the Curnow Petrarca at the moment, it's currently a cash out at $733.
It's pretty nice. I reckon you should. If you cashed it out, you've got $1,200 from outlaying 120. You could nearly have. I wonder if it works. You should have probably. You could go 100 on Curnow into Petrarca, Curnow into Bont, Curnow into Dacos, and then you could nearly have 50 on Tex into Dacos, Tex into Bont, Tex into Petrarca. So that's outlaying. That's outlaying 450. And see if you make over 500 profit no matter what, and you could make some more profit on it.
Yeah, I'd have to go through tomorrow and relook at it, but I'm almost thinking about even just taking it. There's $1,000.
Yeah, that's turning $120 into $1,000. There's your here comes the money back.
Yeah.
There, right there. We can start the show again for NFL season, you fucking cracker. Fuck. So, Cozzy kicked 3. That was one of my bets of the weekend. Cozzy kicking 2. He kicked 3. Paid, just get it up here, $2.65 to kick 3. Kay Chandler kicked 3. Second time this year he's kicked 3 against North Melbourne. He paid $5. He was the one that got him back in the game. His goal kicking got him back in the game. Van Ruin, your man, $2.70. Harrison Petty looked like he broke his fucking foot, to be honest.
Really?
He did at $1.62. Oh. Wasn't good.
There's a lot of guys on coming through. Like, is Jake Bowie in and out of the side? Like Spargo, they've got a few like Judson Clark.
Oh, I'll tell you what's exciting.
Oh, sorry,
Also,
not
sorry,
Judson Clark.
Andrew Brayshaw had 37 dust. So
Yeah,
he paid $10 for 35.
he's one of the most informed players at the moment.
Jack Viney was unbelievable again. He only had 26. He was so tough. Lockie Hunter also had 33. He paid 7-1 for 30. Like, he's such a good top-up player for them. Like, he's a gun, Lockie Hunter. He is just a good footballer, isn't he?
A lot of clubs didn't want to take him because of some of his off-field stuff.
Yeah.
He's
when he steps on the field, yeah, he's always plays well.
great, isn't he?
So I rate. I hope. Yeah, it's a bit of a hard one. I hope you ride the Petrarch one out because I'd love to see him get the medal on Brownlow night and you win in a couple of K. But you've also got to be nervous. We'll talk about it in a sec, but about Tex coming for that Coleman as well. Like, it's not even just Petrarch anymore. It's Tex coming for that Coleman. So
Yeah,
$700 profit is bloody nice. And fucking happy Clayton All of the week, Das. We've heard a couple of rumours that he's playing against the Blues this week, and it fucking excites me. And just now that Dacos got injured and, you know, like the Brownlow's just in the air for Petrarca and Bont now, I just feel like Clary's left a Brownlow out there sort of thing. I know you just think he was polling really well, and I don't think he's played since round 8.
yeah.
That was Gold Coast, so he played that. It was since they played Port on that Friday night. Yeah, round 10. It was supposed to be a 3-week hammy. It's now around 21. He hasn't played. You just think he was polling neck and neck with Dacos and stuff, and now he hasn't played in 11 weeks. And it's just like, you just think if he only missed 3 weeks and he'd even played, 8 of those 11 weeks, is he left a Brownlow guy missing? But then there's Petrarca. They take votes of each other. Viney's in amazing form.
Yeah.
But and I'm only saying that because he was my tip before the year. I'm financially invested, but you just know how good of a player he is, and he's going to come back this week, and we're going to be reminded in the next couple of weeks how fucking good this bloke is. And you're like, where they've fucked up his hammy, where he trained too hard straight away, you could nearly cost him a Brownlow. And I don't know if you heard. This is off track. Damien Barrett on the Sunday Footy Show today.
No.
He said the Dogs, apologised to Bontempelli that he doesn't have a Brownlow.
Oh yeah, no, I heard that.
One the year Ollie Wines won, and he was on 33 votes, and Wines had 36. They did something weird and cost him.
So the back end of the year, there's about 3 games. The Bont probably would have got votes, but they lost.
Oh right,
and they just the club didn't work hard enough.
So they've cost him a Brownlow.
Yeah, like he was close to best on those games. And if they win,
spewing. All right, next game, Saints Carlton. The Baggers were down all day, but they get it done by 19 points. You were at the game. Tell me about it, because you would have been stressing at halftime when they were 22 points down.
I'm not always up and about the footy, Jev. I was extremely quiet. So, for one, thanks Ryan Bell and Jim Gentle. Saints supporters, level 1 on the wing. There's about 10 bays of St Kilda supporters, and I was the only Carlton one. In the middle, jacket, scarf. Come on. So
we're getting the mouth shut, or were you going nuts?
No, I was yapping a little bit, but I was making a joke. But there was this guy behind us, the biggest nuffy of all time.
Yes.
Wait till you chat to the Shark about the first contest. This guy yells, Dickie's like, I can't do this. This guy was an absolute, just a nuffy. But they kicked the first 2, Jev, and they were their pressure was through the roof. Like, we just couldn't get any flow on the game, couldn't put any speed on the ball. I actually thought watching Wilkie and Battle, even though they double team Charlie, they kept mixing around. A lot of their one-on-ones, they actually did really well. Really, really, really well. Battle, he's fucking strong. He was holding him off really well. Entries towards him wasn't that well. And then we get to halftime, and I'm like, all we just need to do is get back to some good defensive stuff. And if we can just chip away one at a time. Second half, Jev, 1 goal 4 to 7 goals 9. Wiedering set up with an absolute rock down back. He's had one of the best second halves of the year since we versed Gold Coast. I thought he's been incredible. I would almost have to say Nick Newman was best on.
Isn't he the most underrated player in the comp right now?
He locked down Toby at the start of the year, and we thought, we'll see how he goes from there. He's been fucking incredible off the half-back line. Zach Fisher back in the side. 32 touches. He was doing what Sard's meant to be doing, actually creating avenues, having a ping, trying to go through the middle. The
Yeah,
biggest
I
takeaway,
did notice that.
the biggest takeaway from today is the fact that our superstars aren't firing. Like Cripps didn't do that much. Like Doherty played well. Blake Acres had an unbelievable game, and they were giving him shit all game because he used to be at the Saints.
Yeah.
And I just kept yelling out shit. I'm like, he's the perfect player that you guys need. But you had him. So, like, you had him. Like, Paddy Dow did his thing. Ollie Hollins was super competitive. Cunningham, Cottrell was getting around at Chincotta. Like, these are names that, like, Marchbank, DeConing, I thought his second half was fucking
Yeah.
awesome. Like, they're not, that's not your Walsh. That's not your Cripps. That's not your Kennedy. That's not your Chera. That's not your Kerno stepping up. That was an unbelievable team win. And that's going into what, let's look at the last 5 years. The teams coming hot into finals are the most dangerous.
100%.
We're the hottest team in the comp.
Yep, 7 in a row.
We're the hottest team in the comp.
100%.
And if we can lock up a 5th spot, get a home final, play one of the top 4 sides coming off a loss, mate,
Yeah.
I'm genuinely excited now. Like, it was so good. And all I wanted in that game, I'm like, if Charlie can kick one, this lid, like the roof will blow off. It went absolutely berserk. When he kicked it, Saints supporters just walked straight out.
Really?
See you later.
Fucking hell.
It was unbelievable. It was a great, awesome team win. Yeah, I thought, as I said, Wilkie and Battle did really well down back. Sinclair's good with the ball, but they ran out of legs. They could not move the footy on us at all.
Yeah, they were. They played bloody frantic. Like, they played the Dan Butler, and their forward pressure was through the roof in the first.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
They probably could have been up by more. That Dan Butler tackle on the young Ollie Hollins, that should have been holding the ball, but
Mate, there was like 7 in a row they didn't pay.
yeah.
And like dropping the balls like for both sides. Like even I was like, how isn't that a free kick?
Yeah, and then
umpires are weird today.
So yes, and Kilda probably left a few goals out there, and then they've just got done. But then, like watching the very end of the game, like I watched most of the game, but so Kilda were down by about 8 points, 12 points, or whatever, and they were exiting the D50 down the boundaries, and you're like, you're trying to win the game, go straight down the middle, like lose by 20 points trying to win the game. Don't worry about it. Was, and even the commentators like, why are they going down the boundaries? They kept kicking it to Wiedering, like stay away from him, sort of thing.
It's exactly what one of the couple of St Kilda boys were with. They're like, I'd rather lose by fucking 5 goals. Like
Exactly.
try and put a bit of speed on the footy. But there was a couple of contests right in front of us with Wiedering and a few others like Max King, and he is so strong.
Yeah, just
Mate,
like
he's a monster.
I know we talk about you talk about like how good a form Sam Taylor's in and James Sicily and how they're pyramid players and stuff. But schoolyard pick, and you got to pick one key defender, like probably Sam Taylor and then Wiedering for me still. Like the size of the bloke for a key defender, he's everything you want. He's everything every team wants in a key defender. Like he's just a big man that just beats players basically.
I think people underestimate how hard that role is. I know it looks easy, and when on the TV it comes in and you're like, oh, they're just taking space. Most of the time they're guarding two or three players.
Yeah.
And they read it coming in so well. Like he has to go back, take marks. Sicily does it really well. Sam Taylor does it really well.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, sometimes when it comes in really quick, they look stupid. They're like, why isn't he on anyone? Like he read it like the last month, like a book.
Yeah, he's in really good form.
It is like I was just watching him, so impressive. Like such a good team win. Like last 4 or 5 years would never have a win like that.
Yeah, he looks 15 kilos heavier than everyone on the field as well, and
he looks huge.
Yeah, he's on the TV. He was looking massive. Yeah, if you told me Carlton would be, I'm just looking through back to see how bad it really was. Round 5, lost to Adelaide. Round 6, lost to the Saints. Then you beat West Coast. Then lost to the Lions, lost to the Dogs, lost to the Pies, lost to the Swans, lost to the D's, lost to Essendon. So there was 6 in a row. Then we met Pat Cripps, and you've gone Suns, Hawks, Dockers, Port, Eagles, Pies, and now fucking the Saints. If you won 7 in a row, you're 5th on the ladder. It is unbelievable. I thought you guys were horrible, and so did you. Like so did everyone.
We were.
You're just out of form, horrible, and like you were the 4th worst team in the comp, basically. and now you're fifth on the ladder. I cannot believe it.
I can't believe we're fifth.
Footy in the comp with like play. It's a bit of a hard one with players to come back because
They always take a week or two.
exactly everyone's so excited about Walsh, Mackay, Chera coming back. But if you bring three guys underdone into a team, all of a sudden, if all three look underdone on the first week back, you could lose a final trying to carry him in. Like it's a real hard one, isn't it?
I think you put him back in though. Like that's where we looked slow at the start of the game in the midfield. Like Dow took a little bit to get go. Like Fogarty was in there. Like Chincotta was in there. It was just like
you hope they play one home and away game or two home and away games before final start. They get that buy-in and then they're fucking ready to go for finals.
We've got Melbourne, Gold Coast, then GWS.
Melbourne, Gold Coast, GWS. You'd love them for Gold Coast and GWS.
Three big midfields.
Yeah.
Go to work. Try and get the work in with the other guy. I thought Dow was really good. Like, look, he's going to be first on the chopping block, but mate,
but you could see him playing a role in a big final.
Well, I'm not sure how far Kennedy's off. I think he still might be a while before he comes back in. He might be 6 weeks. I really hope he plays. Like, he's not super quick, but he's a good stoppage player.
Yeah.
Really good stoppage player.
You look at a final like right now, you'd play GWS first final. You'd love to see Dow put his body on Cornelia or Josh Cully for an afternoon at stoppages or something. Do a role for Carlton sort of thing. So, yeah, I'm sure you're pinching yourself as much as I am. Later in the week in Hook, Line and Sinker, we'll fucking talk about a bit more. But I'm just looking at the ladder. I looked at next week's fixture, and there's a scenario where the Swans could be sitting outright fifth by the end of the ladder next week. Like,
it's fun.
You guys have Melbourne, and other teams play each other. The Swans have Gold Coast at home, and we could be outright fifth. We'll talk about it another time. But the bag is there. I cannot believe it, but good on them. And then the final game, I didn't really see much of this game. I've been out for dinner, Das. So Dockers, Lions. Oh, sorry. Before we get to that, Mason Wood for 35 touches paid 51-1, Das.
Oh my God.
51-1. Zach Fisher for 30 was 29-1, and Nick Newman for 35 was 14-1.
He's had a good year, Nick.
If you had Mason Wood into Nick Newman for 30 and 35, it was 700-1. Wouldn't that be nice? Fucking hell. So last game, the Bachelor's game. This is one of those games, I don't want to be mean because we're from Melbourne, but Freo Lions at WA, it's like a game that doesn't happen. Like it doesn't exist. I could not tell you the history of this game at Optus Stadium, Freo versus the Lions. I feel like this is like a leap year game. It only happens once every 4 years. I've never seen this game in my life.
But you never see the highlights for it.
Nah, fuck no. So the Lions win by 3 points. I was tracking the score right at the end. So Freo came back, got it within 3 points with like a minute to go, but couldn't get over the line, could they? Did you see the end?
I only saw the last minute. So they got the clearance. They kicked inside, got it back out, and then Hip Jesus took a mark and just wound down the clock. He had about 30 seconds to go. But they definitely had a chance with a minute to go. Michael Frederick kicked another good-as goal. Freo are officially done. The Lions are... Fuck, I don't even know. So I'll have to go back and watch the highlights of this game, but they're not
all on 56 points. Melbourne, Brisbane, Porter, all on 56 points. So that top four is not going to change. So you're 10 points. So Carlton are fifth on 10 points away. So you can't see them finishing top four now.
No.
It's 10 points too much. But
Port or Brisbane would have to lose their next three.
Yeah. Geez. Yeah, pick your poison. Do you want Collingwood at the G or do you want Melbourne at the G if you're Lions or Port Adelaide? Like, you fucked it. You both had a home final. Melbourne were fourth. They were like 8 points off the pace, fourth. And they fucked it.
Collingwood are fucked.
Yeah,
I just don't know what's going on there. The more I think about it, it's...
You think about Dacos, like, you know how much self-belief he has. He's sort of the perfect guy to just pick in a prelim final.
But if he comes back in And he's versing.
Nah, halfback. He goes back into halfback
Yeah,
shortly.
but someone's gonna go straight into him.
Oh, man, like if it's liver or something, they'll kill him. No, we better not. I don't want. He's got poor bloke's injured. I've been calling him soft for 2 weeks. Now he's got a broken leg. I actually feel bad. Like,
I feel so bad. We always say, I never want to see an injury.
nah,
Like all good. I want all teams firing on all cylinders.
yeah, oh yeah, I do feel. No, not because a guy did DM the 100K saying, giving me a bit of a go today, saying like soft with a fractured leg, and I'm like, putting your head over the ball and a broken leg are two different things. I'm not calling him soft for the broken leg. That knee on knee, everyone knows what knee on knee feels like. That would have fucking hurt. I've just seen a few incidents lately where he's got his chance to body line and pick up a ball and he chooses not to. But, yeah, well, let's talk about this Freo Brisbane game. There's not much to talk about. The result, Brisbane got the 4 points. Everyone saw it coming. Any odds in there? I'll have a look at the odds for us. So, anyone have any big touches? Sarong, 35. What a star.
What do you pay, like $3?
For 35, Sarong paid $4.80. That's pretty nice. Brayshaw, 29. Young at 29. So, for 25.
Couple of multi-killers there.
$1.27. Young was $3.15 for 25. That's pretty nice.
Nice.
Jared Berry, a goal and 28. What did he pay for 25? He's been out of form a bit, so that's a good game for him. I'm happy for him. Yeah, $8 for 25.
Yeah, that's nice.
Lockie Neal back to 25. Good on him. And then goals, your man, I don't even know, Sammy Strutt, your man, kicked 3.
He's a big lad.
What did he pay for 3? Strutt, 15-1 for 3 would have been nice. Charlie Cameron, he was goals at halftime. I was worried. He kicks 2 goals too. Nicky Frederick.
He's not having the best year, is he, Charlie?
He's out of, like, as we say, like all of a sudden the Swans players and the Carlton players are in form, their best players, and Brisbane aren't, and it's fucked. The league is just fucked at the moment. And Collingwood, as soon as your top 3 players aren't playing well, then your role players take a step down, you lose games in this league. Like you just don't win games.
Well, let's have a quick. Obviously, we're going to preview on Hook, Line, and Sinker because I'd rather talk about that than the Brisbane Freo game. I don't give a fuck. All right, Collingwood Geelong, first glance.
Off form, Geelong.
And is Grindmeyer's winning their best and fairest? I was with the Geelong guy today, and he's like, he thought about it, he's like, probably.
No, their whole seasons, every player's been disappointing at some patch of the year, except for Grindmeyer's and probably Tom Stewart. Tom Stewart's had a solid year.
And then we've got North and Essendon.
You got to go to the Bombers, but
Swans Gold Coast.
Who's that? Sorry,
Swans Gold Coast. You guys have to win that.
Yeah. So this is the one. So I need the Pies to beat the Cats. Then North Essendon. I think Essendon win. Swans beat Gold Coast. Yep. We need Brisbane to beat Adelaide at the Gabba. Should happen. We need Melbourne to beat Carlton. At the G. You could say it's a 50-50 game. You can see Melbourne are $1.62. Like, they'll go in the game favourites, but who knows?
Yeah.
The derby doesn't mean anything to anyone.
No.
And then, just looking at that, you get $4 for the Eagles, $1.25 for the Dockers. Jeez. And then Hawks Dogs at Launceston.
Give me the Hawks.
I need the Hawks to beat the Dogs. And then Richmond to beat St Kilda and Swans are outright, and Port Adelaide to beat GWS, which are all possible. Swans are outright 5th on the ladder at the end of the next thing.
I'm serious. Give me the Hawks.
To beat the Dogs.
They are so good down. Like, they've got their tails up.
100%. That win would have given them that much confidence.
Watch them finish off the year.
Yeah, they will. Who have they got? They've got the Dogs, and then
Melbourne.
Is it the round 24 fixture still isn't out? Dogs, then Melbourne on the G. They love playing on the G.
And then they've got Freo at the G.
So they definitely, we both like them to win 2 out of 3 at least.
They're going to, just because they're waiting for the last round, just so they can get all the dates. Because they're going to push, mate, that last round is going to be fucking insane.
It's going to be nuts. It is going to be nuts.
I can't wait.
All right, good work, Dave. Well, Good to have you back. Another 25 minutes in. The Blues are outright 5th on the ladder. Swans are a couple of points out. It's fucking exciting. Hook, line and sinker this week. I'll see you back then.
Go the Blue Boys. Come on.
You might be going to a final, though. Come on.
Oh, my God.
See you, mate.